Our next speaker is Amy Wan. Hi, Amy. Oh, there you are. Hi. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So Amy is the CEO of Bling Financial, and she's going to talk to us about how to get 8 million users to play your game, your crypto game. Take it away.
All right. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Cool. So first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's nice to be back here. All right, here we go. Okay, so my name is Amy Wan. I'm co-founder and CEO of Bling. And as context for this talk, I wanted to tell you a little bit about us. So we launched our first game back in May of 2019, and we've just been quietly building and growing since then. We're now at about 8 million registered users, 1 million monthly actives, 150,000 daily active users. And we've done all of this pretty much without any paid UA. And so I wanted to talk a bit about how we got to be here. So my first tip is to be where people are and not where you think they should be, right? So the question is, where are people today? They are oftentimes on their mobile devices, and the way they discover new products, new things, is usually via the app stores. So that's where we kind of started off. We've with the 8 million people on our platform, we actually found that a lot of them just found us organically through the Google Play or the Apple Store. And I think one huge reason why we've been so successful is because, for better or for worse, the app stores are huge when it comes to discoverability. I think that the rest of the crypto industry, I think we've kind of been doing things the opposite way of other crypto projects. Everyone is building where they think users should be, and that's totally fine. It's just that less than 1% of the population knows how to code, right? So they just don't have that technical knowledge for where the crypto industry would like them to be today. So we kind of took the opposite approach. We decided, let's start with where everybody else is, and then we'll slowly transition our users over to where we would like them to be. The second thing is define your user base. So as a company, I think we're unique because we actually serve a very different user base than most crypto companies. Matthew, who was just on, he talked about onboarding people onto crypto or onto blockchain gaming, and that's actually how we ended up starting this company. We went out, we had surveys where over 1,000 people took our survey, and we asked them, what would you rather have as a reward, cash or crypto or Bitcoin? And actually, a third of people said that they would opt for Bitcoin or crypto. But back when we were starting in 2019, I think less than 10% of the US population had even owned any crypto or Bitcoin. So I think a lot of companies today, they get really technical and they kind of focus on what we call the crypto nativists. That whole crowd, it's a lot more tech savvy. They tend to have more capital. They're already converted into crypto. These are the people who can read candlestick charts and things like that. Whereas we have tended to focus on mainstreamers. They're oftentimes technically less savvy. They might have heard about Bitcoin or crypto from a friend or a neighbor. And we find that the way that they find their way to us is, they'll go onto their mobile device. They type in Bitcoin or even Bitcoin game or earn Bitcoin into the App Store. And we're one of the first results there. And definitely one of the first results that allow people to experience crypto in a risk-free way. I think if you type in Bitcoin onto the App Store, the first things you get are wallets and exchanges. And that presumes that you already have something, or that you are going to be willing to go through AML, KYC, put in the details of your credit card or your bank account. And so we've just made all of that a lot easier. Design is still key, right? So I talked earlier about our mainstream user base, and I think it's really important to understand um, what mainstream what a mainstream audience is like. These people do not know how to use MetaMask. They do not know about private keys or cold storage or anything like that. We have a forgot password button in our app, and we literally still get so many customer support tickets about how do I reset my password. So that's really the type of crowd that you're dealing with here. And the truth is that most of them are never going to be able to figure out how to send crypto from one wallet to another. And so, for better or worse, we send them to Coinbase, which is a user experience that is a lot more similar to what they already experience on the internet. And we try to make everything super easy for them. There's definitely, what we found is there's a lot of hesitation, right? We have an audience where they say we get customer support tickets where they say, okay, now I have my first Bitcoin. What am I supposed to do now? And they think that owning your first crypto or your first Bitcoin is a terrifying experience, and the FBI is going to run up to their house and arrest them or something. And once they have a little bit of their first, I think that they realize, oh, this is not as terrifying or as intimidating an experience as I thought, right? But I think you still do have to make the entire experience very frictionless, very easy. So the first point I made was to be where people are and not where you think they should be. So we're in the app stores. However, that comes with a price. And I think everyone in crypto is familiar with this problem. The FAANG companies generally hate crypto and they hate play to earn. Um, as a company, we have gotten suspended or banned or whatnot from Google Play, Apple, YouTube, Facebook, not one time but several times, right? It's a constant ongoing battle, and I don't know for sure, but I feel like once you're on their naughty list, there must be some sort of red flag that lives next to your account forever, because it is incredibly hard to get off the naughty list. And some of these companies are a black box. They won't even tell you what you did wrong, and oftentimes it's not some big thing. It's like they didn't like one word or one picture that you posted. We have found that app reviewers tend to be very low level employees. They literally take 5 seconds to assess your app or the screens that you're posting. And oftentimes, if they see anything relating to crypto, they love, they're trigger happy to hit the ban button. They have public policies that often are not the same as secret internal policies, although they won't tell you that up front. And they'll just make you spin your wheels for a long time. I know another, company that was on the App Store, crypto company, and when they launched a token, essentially they were not able to update their app on the Apple Store anymore. And so that was kind of like I think it became a super uphill battle for them. Um, and so, at least for us, it took a lot of creative product engineering and legal maneuvering to continue to be on these platforms. And sometimes you end up not even launching your product the way that you would like, the way it's intended to be. But you just end up having to make these compromises. No, hold on. Okay, so especially on the app stores and especially in play to earn, or at least in the world where we live, it's called rewarded games. it is a constant battle against fraud and against bots. So, I've been around in the startup industry for a while, and for some reason, there just seems to be way more botting and fraud in crypto. As a company, we've had to spend millions of dollars in engineering effort to create proprietary technology that fights bots and frauds and spamming and users who are just constantly trying to defraud us. We have also, as a company, had to put in place several internal controls. Anytime something happens, it takes multiple approvals from certain folks, so that if someone is ever able to compromise us, and we've made that very hard, but if someone is ever able to compromise us, they wouldn't be able to make off with much. We've also seen it on the opposite end of people not so much trying to compromise us, but compromise their users, right? They'll purchase lists of people's emails and passwords that they've used in the crypto industry, and they will basically um, spam our systems to try a bunch of different passwords and see if any one of those will allow them to get into a user's account so that they can empty out the user's Bling points. So it happens a lot, and I think it's a constant battle. And I know we're not the only company that experiences this, right? Axie Infinity has been always very open about the fact that they're constantly fighting fraud and bots on their system too. So for any company, for any crypto game or any crypto project where someone can bot you for monetary value, they absolutely will. And I think if this industry, you know, doesn't put up a big fight against all the bots, I think it's going to be very hard for the industry to proceed. There's been a lot of talk over the past year about play to earn. And I think a lot of people think that play to earn is actually something new, but it's not. It's actually been around for more than a decade. Prior to this, it was called rewarded games, right? And traditionally, the model for rewarded games is that people would make it, obviously there was no token. People would allow you to complete tasks or watch ads or something like that, and they would make the threshold high enough, say $40 is the threshold to be able to do your first cash out, that people would have to play for months on end in order to cash out. And some of these games are straight up scams. They never actually let you cash out. You can't actually reach that $40 threshold. And so the company will end up making money on the arbitrage for everyone who basically ends up giving up on the game, right? And then maybe some people will be able to cash out, but 99% of people will not. I We've kind of taken the model in a bit of a different light. We actually allow users to cash out on day one so that we build trust. I think a lot of the play to earn tokenization models out there um, make the transaction process easier as well. But I think one important thing that you have to remember is that this ultimately has to work for your users, right? And I think there are definitely several questions about the sustainability of the tokenized play to earn model. And nowadays we see blink to earn everything, sleep to earn, walk to earn, whatever to earn, right? I think the evolution of the gaming and blockchain and play to earn industry will ultimately end up in something a bit more unique and creative. As a company, we have had to evolve as well, and we're currently building features that I think will kind of advance what folks are doing in this industry. But there's so many people trying to jump into play to earn right now, and it's just gotten super competitive. And I think ultimately, in order to succeed, you're going to have to see something more interesting. So that's pretty much it for my talk. I hope I was able to give some good feedback, and feel free to reach out. Feel free to explore games. We're blingfi.com, and stay tuned. We're launching something exciting in the fall that we think will be really interesting.
Thank you so much, Amy. If you want to hang back for a few minutes, there might be some questions for you in the comments. That was so interesting. At first, when you were like, play to earn, I was like, that's a hot take, but see where you're going.
All right, thanks, bye.